Dana, and in Jeremiah 29:11, it says, God knows the plans he has for us. They're plans for good and not for evil, to give us a hope and a future. When I was 5 years old, I walked into my first ballet class and I fell in love at once. I remember the girls dancing to music, and I was like, that's my language. But with like every dream, or most dreams, they don't come without challenges. I grew up in a big, absolutely phenomenal family. I was one of 7, and so finances were not. And so my mom and dad saw my heart and worked for years for the teacher, and then eventually the city, and then a studio scholarshiped me. But I was allowed to take 1 class a week for 13 years. And in the dance world, that is nothing. As I continued to dance, people would say to me, oh, well, you don't have enough training. We're not putting you in our shows. You can put makeup on backstage. Have fun. And then they would say, you can't be in our shows. You're too big. You're not made to be a dancer. And those things took seed in my heart. And so when I graduated from high school, I said, I'm done. I took my shoes and threw them in a box, put them in the attic, and said, this is not for me. And so I started to live my life with a dead heart. I literally scrubbed toilets. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that's how I felt. And one day I got a phone call from an acquaintance, and she says, you are supposed to start teaching my daughter. And I said, no, I'm not. I hung up my dance shoes, and that dream is done. But there was a seed of hope placed in my heart. And so I said, if you find me 5 students, I'll start in a bedroom in my house. And I was like, there's no way this is happening. 2 days later, she calls and she says, I have 5 students you're starting in 2 days. So with 13 years of training, 1 class a week, told I am not capable of doing this, I started with 5 students. And I'm like, okay, God, maybe I need a little bit more training. I have to know something more than a plie. And so I applied for a college and I got accepted. Out of that, a professor saw me and she says, there's more in you than you know. And I'm calling you out. And she got me a job at the Air Force Academy teaching. I was like, what? I go from nothing to the Air Force Academy. Thank you, God. I started auditioning for companies, and I finally got a role in the back. I wasn't told, you're too big. That studio I started in my room became 100 students. And we had to move from my bedroom into a place in our little downtown Woodland Park. But still in my heart were those words that were said to me, I'm too big, I'm not qualified. And I would be debilitated with fear, and I would degrade myself. I would cry in my room. My poor husband for years has heard me cry. I'm not made for this, God. And he says to me, Dana, I have plans for you. When Sherry called and she says, Dana, I have plans for you. It is like God has said to me that my plans for you are for good, Dana, and not for evil. I have a hope and a future. And this year has been a weeding out of those lies. And this year has been a growth for my heart. Whether I am qualified or not, or I am too big or not, it doesn't matter, because I am called and you are called. God has a plan for you, and there is hope and a future in it. The world brings death and destruction, but that is not what he says over you. And if we can embrace that and let that start to grow in our heart, it multiplies. And it becomes more. Thank you guys for being here. It is a phenomenal honor that you would come and support us. Support me in my brokenness. Let me cry and dance for you. You guys are an honor. Thank you. Come on out, dancers.